Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to determine which cards are best to buy raw, to turn into 10s, to make money in Pokemon. I made a video about a year ago now, how to make 6 figures in Pokemon. Check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. It was not clickbait. I showed you the actual math with spreadsheet on how you make $100,000 or more in Pokemon. Buy raw, grade it, sell it for money. How do you determine which cards, though, to grade? I showed you the math behind buying a specific card. I will show you the same thing in this video. So this video will be showing you the same thing, but it will also be how do you determine which cards to actually source. So in the past, you used to do it a very manual process. You use some amount of intuition, look at the latest sets, get a feel for which cards are selling frequently, which cards might have a high margin. You'd have to go and you'd have to manually check which ones were going to be the most profitable, the most lucrative. In comes Graded Edge. So Graded Edge, as of today, you have to register, you have to have a login, and you have to actually have an account to be able to use it. This is not a sponsored video, but we are in a current alpha or beta stage. I say we, it is run by a gentleman, Will, who has allowed us with the Pokenomics Patreon to have exclusive alpha beta access for the next few weeks. Next few weeks, if you want to join the Pokenomics Patreon, you will get exclusive access to Graded Edge. We've had it in the Patreon now for a few weeks, and I'll talk you through exactly what it does. But what it does, essentially, is finds you the most profitable grading plays out on the market. It scans through all the cards from the past few years. Let me go to the next page. So you can see right here, a list of, you got Pokemon, you got English, you got Japanese, and you can scroll down. It's not going to go all the way back in time. It goes all the way back to, you see celebrations on your screen because of how I have it cropped. It goes all the way back to Chilling Reign. So it will look through every card. I believe it looks at only cards above like Pop 50, so it's not going to look for high margin, random, reverse holo, random commons and uncommons. It's only going to look for cards above Pop 50 or Pop 100, cards that are actually being graded, and cards that have margin. It will take into account, let me go to the next screen. It will take into account the grading price. It will take into account the PSA 10 rate. It will take into account everything. And check out my video, how to make 6 figures in Pokemon, that I made a year ago. That one is kind of a prequel to this one. It's a good lead-in. That was me showing you a very manual process for determining how much money you could make selling Pokemon cards. But this one, you can actually save certain profiles, certain filters. You input how much does it cost you to ship a card. Maybe you don't like $4, which is the default. Maybe you like 5. Maybe you have a deal with eBay and you're only your cost of sales only 6%. Maybe you have a Shopify store and your cost of sales only 3.5%, 4%. You can manually change these numbers. And say you want to filter. So the page that I'm currently on is called the most profitable cards. I'm not going to spill all the beans here. You do have to go subscribe to the Patreon if you want to get full access to the site. But you can put in, like, I am a cautious person. I don't want to lose more than $5. I don't want to lose more than $10 on a PSA 9. You can type that in, and down below it will fully update. It will fully populate to your metrics. The cards that fit those. Say I don't want to deal with a ton of grading rejects. I don't want to deal with, I'm going to buy 100 cards on TCG Player and only 20 are going to be gradable because the PSA 10 rate's like 20 or 30%. I only want to deal with cards that are 60% PSA 10s. You can put that number in there. I don't want to deal with a $5 profit. I want to deal with a $25 profit. You can't see it on your screen. I have it filtered on my screen. Only 3 cards meet the metrics that I just determined. This one is kind of like a liquidity filter. This one tells you how many PSA 10s have sold in the past 90 days. Say you want 30 of those. Now I just filtered my 3 down to 2. And you can go in here, you can filter by set, you can filter by language, whatever you want to do. Let me go back full face for a second. And then we're going to go into the, where are we going to go? We're going to go into this filter. Yes. So this filter is where you see I have only 2 cards left after inputting all those filters. So where those filters were are up here. Let me refresh this page. So this is a full page on the most profitable cards to be graded in the past 3 years. It takes the raw price and it does some math. It takes your cost of sale, it takes your cost of shipping, cost of grading, and it just runs the calculation on and the most profitable card out there right now. You might be able to do a little bit of figuring based on what the cost before sale is. That's the raw cost plus grading. So some of these cards you might be able to kind of figure out what they are. but this is the entire list, and it's filterable by profit margin. It's filterable by raw, like dollar profit. It's filterable by profit percentage. It's filterable by how much is the raw card. Say your wheelhouse is $10 to $50 raw cards. You only want to deal with cards that are in between these two price points or above this certain price point. You can get to that very quickly here. What used to be going on to eBay, going on to TCG Player, going on to all these different sites, all this different time, now it's done at the click of a couple buttons. The main thing with this is it's not going to just lay money in your lap, but it's going to save you a lot of the legwork, finding the play that will bring you margin. And once you find that, that's half the battle. Caveat, disclaimer, Dan coming in here, all these prices are not static. All these prices are not fixed. All these profit percentages are not fixed. Let me click into one individually, and I think I'll go here now. So yes, the play that I call like public domain, the play that has been out there forever. In my video on how to make 6 figures in Pokemon, I showed you the full math. Let me actually show you right here. I showed you the full math. I showed you the full math behind how to make 6 figures in Pokemon. You had the, I actually bought 100 Celebrations Charizards. 25 of my 100 were not gradable. So I sold them near mint. Every near mint one that I sold, I lost $17.50. Half of them that I grade, half of them overall, almost half, 48%. So 48 out of 100 graded a 10. 27 graded a 9. And then some amount were actually damaged, which I show in my math. So in that video, I showed you how I was making $38 per Celebrations Charizard that I bought. I was showing you how that translated into making like a 6-figure salary if you could just do Celebrations Charizards all year long. You can't. It's not a scalable play. The more you buy of a given play, the more you're competing against it yourself. More caveats, more disclaimers. If everyone had access to this website, or when everyone gets access to this website, depending on how they go long-term monetizing, how they go long-term distribution of this website, you might be battling with other people. You might be cannibalizing your own margin. You guys might be butting heads, fighting each other for margin. So having this tool is just one aspect of it. You need to take this tool and you need to turn it into actually profitable plays. You need to be aware of the fact that prices will move, things will change. The higher the pop, the longer, the more sales, all those things that you can filter for. The more sales there are a day, if a card is selling 100 times a day, I don't think there's any card selling that frequently, but you can be more confident and more cards can go in with less of an effect. So it's not like a guaranteed tool to just print money endlessly. It's a tool that needs to be understood. You need to work with it. You need to know that all these things are going to change and be in flux over time. But the great thing is, it just shows you the data. You can go into here and you can look at all the raw cards on eBay. As of today, it is currently set up so that it only deals with eBay. You can see all the raw, all the PSA 10, all the PSA 9, and no data compilation tool is perfect. If you do join the Patreon, if you do go in here, there's actually a Discord where you can report if you have any bugs, where you can actually request new features. Since we're in an alpha or a beta stage, Will is actually making updates like live as we speak. There's a Discord. People will put a request and I want to be able to filter this way. I want to be able to change this, change that. And he's making the adjustments live on the fly as we go. I mean, it's a very great thing. It's a very great tool. I'm interested to see how the future of this goes. But as of right now, for the here and now, we have exclusive access to it in the Pokenomics Patreon. So yeah, just like that video that I was showing, all the math is right there. All the math is right there. What used to be a very manual process of I want to pick out a card, now I gotta type all these in, and one thing that you can do, more things potentially coming to the website, like I did in my video, I bought 100, 25 were not gradable. If I went and I could change this, I could change the numbers, say that for whatever reason it's pulling bad data, no data compilation service is perfect, say the PSA 10s are actually not 167, I think that's really close, say they're actually like 140, you can change it and you can see how it changes the expected profit. You can see how it changes the ROI. Say you change a bunch of stuff and you don't like it and you screwed something up, refresh the page, it'll come back to where it was. But yeah, this is a very powerful tool. It's not going to just guaranteed make you money, but it is going to expedite, it is going to make quicker your process of selection in what cards do I want to go buy 50 of, what cards do I want to go buy 10, 20, 50, 100 of each to go graded mass at PSA, BGS, CGC. As of right now, it's all PSA. CGC, BGS potentially to come in the future. As of right now, it's all eBay. The site, as of right now, is connected with the Pokenomics Patreon. That's the only way to access it. In the future, though, I think it will be released broader to some extent. I don't know exactly how that will be done, but as of right now, its primary monetization source is affiliate links. Same way I have an affiliate link in the description below. If you want to buy anything on eBay, no additional cost to you. It supports me. Same thing here. If I click on any of these listings over here, there will actually be like an affiliate link. Say I click on this raw card and I wanna actually go to this listing and I wanna buy it. This one's just a stock photo, but say you find one that's not a stock photo. Say you go to the listing and you look at the front back, say it's good centering, no white dots. If you want to buy this one to turn it into a PSA 10 to make money, you will actually 1 to 4% will go to will go to Graded Edge. That is how the site is currently being monetized. How it will, all that will be done in the future. I think some amount of that is still up in the air to be determined. But yeah, this is an amazing tool. It allows you to quickly calculate and figure out what the margins are. It allows you through the most profitable cards tab, which I will not show you the entire tab of, but that is the tab that will show you what is the margin, what cards, and when a card first comes out. I'm going to go full screen now and I'm going to wrap up very soon. When a card first comes out, part of the reason I'm not just showing this to everybody right now is because if everybody just sees what the top 5 most profitable cards are and everyone goes and buys 50 copies each on TCG Player, one, TCG Player will dry up and it's gonna, like, you're in competition with yourself. If you buy a lot of quantity, you're in competition with everyone else who has access to this. So me personally, I actually plan to make a video 2-3 months from now on my first Graded Edge results, returns, how it went. Just like I made that video a year ago on Celebrations Charizard, what my 100 Celebrations Charizards. I'm going to show you all the data. I bought 50 of this card, and I bought 100 of this card, and I bought 50. Whatever the numbers are, I've already spent over $10,000 buying raw cards for this experiment. And I'm going to show you how many went to CGC, how many went to BGS, how many went to PSA, and I'm going to do the full math on it. That video will come towards the end of the year, maybe around the end of the year, November, December. We'll see how long the grading turnarounds take. But yeah, it's a crazy powerful tool. As of right now, it is restricted to the Pokenomics Patreon. If you want to join, the link is down there in my link tree. The link will also be posted in the description. Jake and myself have been running this for a few years now. Every week, additional benefits, additional access to myself and Jake. Once a month, we do a Zoom call. All those have been recorded for the past few years. They're all unlisted videos on my YouTube. You get access to that whole backlog. Like over 100 hours of Jake, Dan, and others talking about the market, talking about all these different things in Pokemon. As well as that, you also get weekly office hours. These are not recorded. These, you have to be there to benefit from it. But myself and Jake each have 1 hour per week that we are available in Discord voice chat for the entire hour, sometimes bonus time, sometimes free time. We go into overtime extra. And I'm available currently. I believe I'm Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Jake, I believe right now, is Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern. And every few months, we usually change those up. But yeah, you get the backlog of the Zoom calls. You get weekly office hour calls. And then you get future monthly live Zoom calls, Q&As, all that stuff. As well as you get the entire backlog of, even though the one, I will admit, Graded Edge is a great tool. It really invalidated and it really devalued. It devalued the one tool that you get, because back in July of 2023, I made this video in the Patreon and I gave this tool to people, how to calculate the EV on grading a Pokemon card. Will went and blew that out of the water. That was actually how Will found me. Will found me from this video, and he reached out and he asked, like, hey, do you want to partner? Do you want to talk about this? What can we do with this? So he took the, well, not that I was the inspiration. Like, he had already been doing that. He thought about that separately, was doing that on his own. He happened to be browsing YouTube, trying to find someone else doing it. He found me, and yeah, then Graded Edge has been just on a just steamrolling through all the new updates, all the new features, many more to come too. So I'm very excited where Graded Edge will go. If you want to check it out sooner, the Patreon is there. You can get in there now. You can get in there as this video ends. You can go and you can start playing around, see what the most profitable cards are. You can try to make your plays. If you want to wait, it will be doing a broader release at some point. Stay tuned. Whenever it happens, since Will has so graciously tied it to the Patreon, I will announce publicly on my YouTube, on my Instagram, elsewhere, when Graded Edge goes more broadly public. It might always be behind some kind of a paywall. I don't know entirely. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be using it. I will report back in a few months how it went, how it goes. But yeah, that's it. That is a big, powerful new tool for sourcing Pokemon cards. All the data's out there for free, as with most of these things. But putting it all into one bundle, very quick, succinct, getting things with a couple clicks of a button, very valuable, at least to me, I think. So if you agree, check it out. If not, that's fine too. I appreciate you all watching. I will catch you all later.